Welcome back to Killarney International Raceway for round one of the South African Endurance Series here, powered by Mopar. We certainly hope you've enjoyed all the action in part one and part two. We've had non-stop action here, literally for the last 2 hours and 22 minutes. Now, 2 hours, 22 minutes means it's triple two. So means maybe I need to take my foot off and stand on one leg, because that's the cricket rules with the double Nelson stage of this race. And we're under virtual safety car as you join us. So the virtual safety car means it's a 60k an hour zone for the entire circuit, and a couple of cars taking advantage of that virtual safety car coming into pit lane, particularly the Aid Call 24/7 car, and Colin's down in pit lane waiting for them to come and join him. Or maybe he isn't. Okay, he's not quite ready yet. We'll get to him as soon as he is.
I've got him.
You got him. Okay, let's go. Cole's there.
Out of here. I've found the man from Alpha. We all love Alphas because we do. He's on his way. He's not that happy because, and you saw, I tried to taste it. I smelled and I tasted that oil. It was disgusting. What actually went wrong, Thea?
The end cap on the gearbox shattered, so we think it threw a dog or a tooth and just shot it through the casing. So, I mean, yesterday in practice, I went off in dams and it took quite a knock. I think we probably did a bit of internal damage there yesterday, because it feels, you know, if you look at the car now, it's just a small piece of the gearbox out there. The internals are perfect, and it's actually still running perfectly, but obviously with a hole in the casing, we can't go.
Can't you put a bit of rapid set putty or something around the outside of it?
It's not. It's the hole is too big, and obviously there's an internal problem for it to have thrown the casing out like that.
But it's quite interesting that you talk about yesterday where you had a little issue, and that gets thrown forward so far, more than 2 hours into the race.
Yeah, so if you look this morning, well, last night when we came in, because I went off in dams, we had a hole in the fuel tank and we had issues sorting that out. We basically, you know, we had quite a bit of work to do just to do that, and it was quite a big shunt. If you look at the car was a meter in the air, came down with quite a bit of force.
But you hid all of that work very well from us.
Yeah, well, obviously we thought we had it under control. And I think we did. Look, racing is racing. We've got to be sure everybody's going to have their issue during the year. So we've had ours early in the season now, and now we've got to build from here and go flat out for the rest of the races.
But it was about 18 months ago that you last had an issue, long time ago.
Yeah, it was about 18 months. I think it was the first race in Pekisa 2 years ago that we really had a big issue. Small things from there, but nothing that got us out of the chase. So this is
and it was a really cool race between yourselves and the Honda, with the old experienced guys and the young dogs, the enthusiasts, and that's going to be a great battle going through the rest of the year.
Yeah, definitely, and we really are spot on with the same times.
I mean, great balance of performance.
And I mean, from the start, we already got a drive-through penalty straight away with them because of crossing the line before them. And obviously, if you look at them, they also made a few mistakes. They pitted it very early, not using the yellow, the code 60. So I think we're going to go through the season neck on neck. It's going to be very interesting to see how this one goes.
Theo, thanks a lot for chatting to us, and better luck next time. I've got a bit of an issue with being smacked by cars in the pit lane, and thanks a lot for chatting, and we're going to see you at the next race. Have a great evening.
100%. We'll see you in Port Elizabeth or East London. Yeah.
Down in the Cape. Right, we got another car. This is the Avon Taplin Mike Schmidt car in the pits, and check out on the dashboard, they've actually got an iPhone that's part of their kind of homemade telemetry system. Got fuel going in over here, and check the light. You see the light flashes. There you've got you saw the fuel come out of the breather, and Mark Schmidt out of the car. There doesn't seem to be a lot of rush around here, and the lack of urgency points to terminality. We've got cables, a whole lot of clutch cables, accelerator cables, and I think that might be the issue. But Greg, we've got some gone green racing again. Talk to us.
Thanks, Cole. Awesome coverage down there. You can see the frantic activity now. Coming into what is dusk here at Killarney International Raceway in Cape Town. You can see the lights in the background starting to come on. The pit lane floodlights starting to be put on as well, starting to warm themselves up so that when we do go darker than we are right now, we'll be able to see the camera. I can tell you right now, particularly this one with our man down there, Morne, doing a super job at turn 3 and giving us 1, 2 and 3's coverage. What we're seeing is a slightly lighter version than what it actually is on track, and that's the deception that you get with the cameras. They have the ability to enhance the light ever so slightly, and that's what we're going to be hopefully getting us right up until 8 o'clock tonight. We're into part 3 of our coverage right now, and a big welcome to all of our followers again as they all start coming back in thick and fast. Michael Koenig has joined us, Janet Wood is back, Megan Henning is there, we've got Greg Charman, Belinda Ryan, Barney Scotts, all jumping back onto a part 3 of our coverage. So I hope you've all enjoyed it. If you have, please tell your friends about us. This is the way I think we need to be going in motorsport commentary and motorsport coverage, the live aspect. And definitely a chance now for a change-up as a couple of cars are starting to just become a bit of a threat. As you join us back here for part 3.
Right, the Ferrari came into the pits. There was some damage on the front left of the car. I expect there to be some damage on the back right of another car that's going to come into the pits. But in the meantime, we've got the Batelier car. They checked out the damage. The front bumper is a little bit loose, and Kishore Patamba bolted out of the pits again in the Ferrari. In the meantime, we've got the Batelier backdraft that had a broken throttle cable, and you'll see how they're just going sort of deep down there. Follow the fingers, and wherever the fingers are, that's where the trouble is about to end. So they just put a new throttle cable into it. They're busy strapping it up, and they'll get going. So you've got Bruce Avon Taplin, who's just got into the car, and they're busy plugging him his drinks and his radio. They got that all plugged up, and you can see the beautiful air filter on the front end of the car. This is a Lexus V8 motor, so you've got quite a complex inlet manifold, and all the air goes in through here and into the manifold. These are the cables that they brought out because they didn't exactly know which one it was. And a little bit of lock wire. I'm disappointed that I'm not seeing any tie wraps, and I'm not seeing any duct tape. The car with all the duct tape on it is the 555, and the 555 is now running, but they're about to come into the pits again. The other thing that we see on this Batelier car is that they've done a little bit of farming. You can see how the grass just packs up, and as you know, the circuit does their maintenance, and then when a car goes off, you get the grass all bashed up, and then little bits of body damage. Those are the kind of things. There's a car coming into the pits, and here we've got again the orange car with the duct tape. And interestingly, check out, whoa, hold on, watch the car. You've got to pay attention here, guys. So if you don't pay attention, you get moved by a car. So Jeanetta's in the pits again, but we've got Alicia coming out of the pits. That's Trevor Frost in the car again, and out he goes. But now they're busy doing a tyre change on the Jeanetta. Maybe they got a bit of a tyre there. The other thing is, instead of using duct tape on this car, how's this for cooleriness? You put Castrol stickers on it, and you give your sponsor a little bit of coverage instead of just duct tape. However, I suspect the real reason they used those Castrol stickers is that they ran out of the whole supply of duct tape in Cape Town. But hey, Son Mudley had a brilliant race. Right, we now know why this car's in the pits. And we can have a look over here. Ruan, check this out. Tires just come off, and you can see this is what happens when you get a flat tire. This area here on the tire, this part of the sidewall, is the most stressed part of it, and it actually overheats. Oh, this is kind of hot. And when it overheats, it like falls apart. So this tire is properly FUBAR. You will get a tire engineer who will be able to have a good look at this thing and find out where the issue was. But on a quick sort of look, this thing ran underinflated, a bit of a puncher, and on the inside with a negative camber. So you'll find where it is. Here we go. Do you recall we said on the Ferrari, when he came into the pits, the Ferrari had damage on the front left? What color is a Ferrari, guys? Check here. That's red paint. So this tire comes off the back right of that Ginetta. The Ferrari had damage on the front left, and this is Colin the detective. That is Ferrari paint, and that is why this tire went flat, because here you can see the valve has been ripped off. You rip the valve off, you got no air on the inside. Ferrari, got some shoe problems.
Easy. Remember, there's a Formula 1 race tomorrow. There's a lot of Ferrari fans out there. But we are covering endurance racing here, and thanks, Niels Kemp. Niels Kemp, your comment is very much appreciated, buddy. We are trying our best on the limited budget, as you know, but it's certainly proving to be, I think, the way to go. You know, if we can get a bit more budget, we get a couple more man cameras out there, it'll change the whole look and feel of motorsport, not only in South Africa, but worldwide. We love to be able to interact with all our fans out there. Peter Talavutas, you've come and joined us as well. Nice to see you there, buddy. Thank you so much, and thanks for the awesome comment there. And now we look to get into 2.5 hours completed. 2 hours, 33 minutes exactly. An hour and 27 minutes to go. 27, good number, by the way. Now, it's going to be a case of watching lights, and it's going to turn into more and more, or I should say less and less visuals of the cars and more visuals of their lights as they come a-blazing towards us. A couple of cars still not with lights on. The Ginetta G55 without lights on. Now, considering it's been in an accident already or a potential knock with a Ferrari, it might be a plan for that team to switch the lights on, so to avoid any other action that could be happening out on track as we speak. There it is, Ginetta right behind the backdraft Cobra. Second of the Cobra is just behind that. Bachelor Motorsport team, then the Ferrari. Ooh, they're back into each other's clutches again, followed by that Strocam Mining Ligier. Quick update in terms of the scores, or how things stand in the top 10. It's the 8-call 247 Ligier that leads out on 102 laps completed, 3 laps ahead of that Stradale Motorsport Lamborghini GT3 of the Orangis boys. Third place, Bucketless Racing. Now, Bucketless Racing, as I said, they've slowly but surely just ticked off one by one, made their way to the front end, and are now becoming a big threat to that front end. And of course, that is Eric Solomon and Dave Sinclair. No, I beg your pardon, Kishore Patamba and Chris Budnick in the Ferrari. So the Ferrari is now just about running in where it needs to be at this stage. Don't want to be putting a commentator's curse on them, but the Ferrari is now definitely in the shot of a podium finish here at Killarney International Raceway. Behind them, incredibly, it's Autohaus Angel in the Honda Civic Type R. Followed very closely by the backdraft Cobra. Only 2 laps adrift, and that's because they spent a bit of time in pit lane having to sort that bonnet out. Nash Motorsport is in 6th place. Bachelor Motorsport is in 7th. The 240Z of Brian Evans and Charles Arton have now moved up into 8th place in the Cape Eye Laser 240Z Datsun. The third of the Ligiers is in 9th place. The second of the Ligiers is in 9th place, and the third of them is in 10th place with Caminas Racing down in 10th. That's the top 10 as it stands. All right, so a couple of cars unlapping themselves and being lapped at the same time. That is third place Bucketless Racing. Ferrari being overtaken by the lead car. Another lap down on that car. And it looks as if the Strocam Mining car is looking to make up one more lap and get past the Ferrari. He'll probably get him down the straight. Down that back straightaway, we'll see the Ferrari possibly overtaken. That's the 240Z I was talking about earlier on. Brian Evans and Charlie Arton sharing that car. Doing a super job. A lot of doctors racing out there. We've already seen Dr. Mike Veria. Well, there's a couple of doctors out there as well from the Cape Laser Eye Clinic. They'll be looking at their team and thinking to themselves, yeah, we've definitely got some options here. And this little 240Z has, and I'm not going to put a commentator's curse on it, not put a wheel wrong so far. And for a slightly older car, it certainly has got the ability to run with any of these modern day purpose-built endurance cars. Also just got a shot there, maybe go back there from Mornay's point of view. just on the left-hand side. Let's follow these guys through, and then just pan left, Morna, if you can, at the end of the shot. No, just keep with this car, stay with these cars, stay with them until they come through. But as that lead car comes through, just pan to the left-hand side of your final part of your shot, and you'll see the VIP areas and our bombers starting to get those braais going. Just pan to the left-hand side. Check that out. The braais are raging on the sideline. And the crowd haven't left yet. There is still a really big crowd here, which is fantastic to see. And it means that endurance racing is popular, not only in Cape Town, but all around the country and all around the world, because our comments are flying in here thick and fast all the time at part 3 of this coverage of the South African Endurance Series, powered by Mopar, the Campos600. Stian Kriel has just joined us. Mark Friedman's back again. How's it going, Marky? Stian Kriel, this might be an option for you to look at. I think you and Robin definitely would be have a certain je ne sais, I don't know what, in terms of how to get the car around, having done a few endurance races of your own. And of course are the Index of Performance champions at this year's Passion for Speed Festival. So maybe you need to think about finding a car that's going to be competitive in the South African Endurance Championship. Stian Kriel, of course, a multiple champion in saloon cars. Robin Kruger, also one of our top lady drivers, part of the Universal Healthcare team, and looking forward to seeing her in action when they come down here in April for the Falcon Polo Cup. Coming through there now, you've just seen the Janetta 55. That is the Honda, being followed by the Nash. That's car 15. That Nash being overtaken by the Strocam Mining Ligier as they went into turn 3. And nice to see that Nash is back up and running. It's John and Byron Oliver that are at the wheel of that car and about to be eaten up by 2 Italians. One of the equine status and the other one of the bovine status. So Ferraris and Lamborghinis in full flight down the back straight away now. There's the Degena 55. That is an improving car. It still hasn't got into the top 10 just yet. So it's a big change up expected coming in these last hour and 20 minutes. So we're down to an hour and 20 minutes to go. Reverse shot, Janetta back into pit lane. So the Janetta peeling back into pit lane. Must be an issue on that car that they still haven't got sorted out just yet. And now as it comes in, we'll keep an eye on that. And there's our camera just tilting to the right hand side. There's a remote camera operated by our man Fritz from Pro Visual Productions in the OB unit. We don't necessarily have to have all the cameras manned at events like this, but it certainly has changed up the whole way and the way we do things from a coverage point of view. Once again, looking at that car, checking temperatures. Like they're actually just below my commentary position here. If I put my hand up and I'll wave, you might see me. Yeah, there we go. You can just see me in the top right of the screen, just to the left-hand side. There we go. You don't have to come to me. It's fine. I'm just saying, in terms of what's happening in pit lane and where I am, I'm literally above this team. So I can see the bit of frantic activity there from the Janetta team to try and get whatever the issue is sorted out. I did mention the fact that this car has got an entry into Le Mans. So Jan Lammers and a couple of drivers going to be joining and taking a South African team into the Le Mans, which is going to be really, really awesome to see. Nice option here as we're seeing all the action down in pit lane. Mark Friedman has joined us. Big welcome there, Marky Mark. Here's part 3 of our coverage if you've just joined us. Grant van Schalkwyk, George Economides is in the house as well. Robert Cartwell, thanks so much. I've spoken about Salavutas. We've got Dean Williams there too. Paul Bargersbergen is loving this. He really hasn't left any of this. He's a big Jan Lammers fan, and it's great to have him all the way from Holland. We had guys from Florida, Jacksonville in Florida coming to join us too, which is really cool. Thanks, Grant van Schalkwyk. We appreciate that comment, buddy. Thanks so much. Nick Cunningham-Morat. Hello, Mr. Maloney. How are you, Mr. Maloney? Good to see the racing in the sunshine. Yes, it was in the sunshine. We're now losing sunshine. And the sun, you can see on the shot there, the sunshine slowly but surely disappearing in the background because it's getting a little bit cooler down here. A quick update. If I go to my little app on my phone, it's so nice to have a phone that has an app that tells you what's happening with the current weather conditions. So for a weather report quickly, proudly brought to you by a weather app called something or other. It's now down to a quick reload. 21 degrees Celsius real feel down here, so it has dropped in terms of ambient temperature, which means the track temperature is starting to also feel the effects of the slightly cooler conditions here at Killarney International Raceway. Colin's down in pit lane. What you got, Col?
And add to your weather report, one of the things we do first time we get to a racetrack race morning is we look for rain. I can confirm that it is definitely not raining. And how do I know this, Greg? Firstly, I look down at the tar and I feel it and I check out and there's no water. So therefore, I come to the conclusion, ladies and gents, boys and girls, it's not raining. So we've got our favorite visitor to pit road. This is the Ginetta G55. They came in and changed the wheel because it is alleged, some say, Detective Sleuth, the Ferrari hit it in the back right, ripped the valve off, tyre went flat and destroyed the tyre. They've been worried about this car overheating and a very high water temperature. There are a couple of places where you fill the water over here, you've got the pressure cap for the water system over here, and then you've got another three little, I suppose, swirl pot, and they think that they've got an airlock in this thing. They're also looking at the power steering.
Another interesting point while you're down there,
Bit of an issue there. Yeah, Greg.
Is have a look at that heat shield tape that's on there, the gold tape. It's a heat shield for
gold
the heat
space
that comes out of the engine to try and
Awesome,
protect
eh?
some of the parts of the car.
But you see, one of the things, Greg, is that when you mix gold and orange and green and yellow, you know the fashion police, Greg, they get all uptight. Now, in our sleuthing work, we can do a little bit more sleuthing.
I really am
Because
battling
have
to
a
hear
look
you,
here.
Cole, so apologies if I don't get everything right there.
There's some more red paint from a Ferrari. Definitely Ferrari smacking a Ginetta. Guess they'll have a bit of a chat about that. Interesting one there, because the damage is sort of 2/3 back of the car, definitely behind the center line. So, did the Ginetta turn in on the Ferrari, or did the Ferrari just have a go? Who knows?
No, there was
We
definitely
won't
a
know.
touch between the two of them. There's definitely a little bit of rubbing as racing happening out there, I think, between those two cars. Unfortunately, both of them are back on track, but interesting to see a bit of a change-up as well as we get into this side of things. Car 15, Byron and John Oliver in the second of the Nash Specials have now moved up into 10th place overall. So we've got two Nash Motorsport cars in the top 10, which is a phenomenal effort from these guys. I can actually see Andrew Horndog down there, and I'm going to ask Horndog to come on up here and maybe have a quick chat with us in the studio and just give us an insight as to how things are going on those cars. All right, so I have been able to get Andrew Horn's attention. I've asked him to come and step up into our studio here. So once I've got him into the studio, we'll have a quick chat to see how things are going from Nash Motorsport's point of view. He, of course, is one of the drivers sharing the car that is currently sitting in 6th place overall. But I just mentioned the fact that, of course, the car that had issues earlier on, the 15 car, the Megapile car of John and Byron Oliver, have also moved into the top 10. So we've got two Nash Motorsport specials moving up into that top 10 overall. Speaking of the top 10 overall, Aid Call 24/7 car is still leading, and now on the elusive 112 laps completed. I managed to put my foot down just in time, so he didn't get a Nelson. 108 laps completed from Stradale Motorsport in 2nd place, 103 laps completed from the Bucket List Racing Ferrari in 3rd. Autohouse Angel on 101 laps, just a lap ahead of Backdraft Racing in the Cobra. 99 laps completed by Andrew Horn and his teammate Howard Blake, and he's basically on his way to us right now. So once I get him into the chair here, we'll just turn the camera slightly, and then you guys can come to me and Horny, and Andrew Horndog can just take us through a little bit of insight as to what it's like being one of the drivers in those cars, and taking us through what the conditions are going to be like as well. Just got to get him into the studio, and once we've got him in studio, we'll just get the camera sorted out too, just so that he can come and join us and give us a bit of insight. Once I've got him on mic and the camera's on, we'll come to us in the studio. How does that look, boys? Are we looking good there? Okay. All right, I'm going to just slide her up there. Oh, and as he comes and joins us, it looks like his good friend Gerald Wright's had a massive problem coming out of Damstip there. Andy, things out there getting a little bit more dangerous because the light is dying. Things are starting to fade in terms of your ability to see. Hopefully those guys have got clear visors, or at least orange or yellow visors on. Take us through how it's gone so far.
Yeah, we started at 22nd and we're back up to 6th overall, which is great. I think had a bit of a couple of failures, which is a bit sad. I think Paul Gerald's had a race with lots of stops and things like that. So yeah, Pearl Gerald's had a torrid race there, so I feel bad that he's stuck in the sand again. Yeah, touch wood, we're having a great one. Matthew Nash has built a beautiful car, and yeah, as long as my teammate can bring it home.
Dude, I've got to say, there's two of them now into the top 10 if you look at the current standings. The Mega Pile car there of John and Byron have just gone in as well, so we got two Nash specials there.
Yeah.
Matthew Nash, take nothing away from him in terms of his ability to build a car. You were one of the test pilots of the original version of this car.
That's right.
You were talking to me yesterday about how things have changed dramatically in that car and how things have become so much better every single time we go racing in these things.
You know, I think for a local guy like Matthew to have actually sort of stuck his head out and built a brand new car for South African motorsport is fantastic. And the evolution of this car over the last 3 years is incredible. You know, it's gone from a prototype sports car to a pucker racing car, a lot more precise and a lot more clean cut, which I think is just so fantastic for that sort of affordable bracket of Class V in the South African Endurance Series.
And I think also, if you look at the way things have gone so far for you guys, particularly in those Nash Specials, consistency is key.
Yeah.
You know, you cannot afford to be putting in lap times that are nowhere near sort of what you do on a lap-by-lap basis. If you go slightly slow at one point or speed up more and not take into account that maybe a performance of index is what you need to be playing around with those kind of cars as opposed to the big expensive ones that have got the extra power.
Yeah. You know, I think if the ultimate pace of a car is a 1:22, try and drive a 1:23. Happy days. You know, 23, 24, you're going to have a great endurance race.
I know you can hear our guys in the background. That's what's caught you out there, but don't stress. Cole's down in pit lane now. We'll come back to Andrew Horn and us in 2 seconds' time. Colin, what you got?
Well, I've got Nick Budnick, who's just gone into the Ferrari that Kishore Patamba has got out of, and this is the car that we've been talking with the damage against the Ginetta. Right, so Nick Budnick's going to take the last hour and 15 odd minutes. They just had a driver change, banged some fuel in it. We've got a code 60 on track at the moment, not sure why, but we also are expecting the Nick Adcock car for a splash and dash. I saw the guys running to put their fireproof stuff on, and also the Lamborghini. So I'll tell you what, Greg, you carry on with your chat while the code 60's on.
Cole,
we're going to find out why.
Out there at the moment because of that incident with Gerald Wright. He's down, of course, in turn 3, Rose Foundation Street. But as you can see with me, as they start to pick that machine up, I think that's Wilson that's at the car wheel there right now. Is it Gerald's team? I just want to double check that one. Yeah, Dean Wilson. It looks like he's the man who got the mistake made down in turn 3 there. Unfortunately,
is it a mistake or a failure? Looking at the back of that car,
it looks like something broke.
Yeah, it looks like something's definitely broken. A great pity.
Do you think? I mean, we're sitting with probably about an hour to go now. If they get that car back, they can still possibly get it fixed and back on track, or what are the chances?
I think there's absolutely every chance. You know, it just depends what's broken and what sort of spares they're carrying. But there's no reason why not. You can always make a plan.
Listen, I've seen your boss man going and making a plan. Not only making sure that you were good to go in the car and your teammate was good to go in the car, but every single one of the customers that's running under Nash Motorsport this weekend has been looked after.
Yeah.
Not in terms of, I've been watching from this side. You guys get in the car, you go out, you go and do whatever you need to do, you come back in. he is back and forth, making sure the cars are fueled, the tyres are checked on all four cars.
Four cars.
4 cars this weekend. Plus, the next thing, he runs onto the pit wall with a packet of juice and cool drinks and food for everybody that's part of the team. And it's a non-stop job for him, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Matthew puts in a huge amount of effort, and don't take nothing away from his guys that work for him as well. Arnold, Tulani, and Pete. Those guys are absolutely fantastic, and they bend over backwards to make sure this all happens. And I think there's got to be a lot of credit given to that team.
No doubt about it.
It's the first new racing car that's been built in South Africa for probably 30 years since Old Sports 2000, so that's quite something.
Exactly, and to be as competitive as they are, to have 2 running in the top 10 at this late stage of a 4-hour endurance race. And I mean, it just bodes well for the season as well for you guys, because I'm sure that Matt wants to take all these cars, all these customers, to each round of the South African Endurance Series.
You're going to reach out and grab that wooden bench there, because my car's still in this race, and you're going to touch wood before something goes wrong.
I'm touching everything, buddy.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
Cool.
I'm never going to give you a commentator's curse.
Oh.
Every time I've spoken about you, you've won championships, so I'm going to keep that going, okay?
Yeah.
So let's just keep that going. There we go. Touch wood, wood, everything wood. Yeah, we'll touch his wood too.
There we go.
Andy, thanks so much for joining us, buddy. It's really
Thanks
cool
for
to have
having
you
me,
here.
Greg.
And the
it's
insight
fun.
that you bring is always cool. Being a current champion, of course, in the Formula Ford Kent category, it's great to have you here. Good luck for the rest of the race. And we'll chat to you on the next one, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much, guys.
Later.
There you go. Andrew
Thank you.
Horndog coming to join me as part of our coverage here. And it's great to have that driver insight, literally from the word of mouth of the drivers having some fun and games out there on their own. And now going to go and try and finish it up and hopefully get to the end of this race meeting with very little to no damage or collateral damage as we get into the closing stages here. Well, there you go, just an adjustment of the camera. But out on track, we're under full course caution, which means that we are now having to just take it easy out there, make sure that nobody makes mistakes. Everybody sticks to the 60 k/h zone. And if that is the case, then, of course, under safety car, guys will try and capitalize. And at this stage, it might not be a bad thing. Colin's down in pit lane with some action. Col?
Well, I've got this little pipe over here. Try and put my mic into its hands-free kit. So this comes off the steering rack of the 555 Janetta 55. And you can see over here, it's a lovely braided hose with swaged ends, and so the power steering fluid goes through it. But it's been hit and damaged and kinked, and there's a bit of a leak in here. So it is spraying power steering fluid all over the car. And they've had a terrible race. This is the car that's probably spent the most time in pit road a load of times, and they're going to put the bonnet back on. They've got to, in order to get to this, they've got all sorts of lights, and it's deep in the front. Let's go and have a look and see if we can try and point out where they are. They are deep in the front of the car, way down there. Just trying to put the new part in. So there's a lot of good work going on here. Jan Lammers is back in the car. They've sorted out, this one here was not the water reservoir. This here is actually the power steering fluid reservoir. This is water. So boys and girls, I do get confused. There's the Nissan V8 engine, and you've got to love this reflective stuff. Very good insulator. And heat shield. The windscreen's taken a bit of a bashing with some stones. It's got some cracks in it. And of course, what would a racing car be without carbon fiber? Carbon fiber, lots of carbon fiber, and some unobtainium. This car's got, the only thing that's missing on it, it's got lots of duct tape, but I'm looking for the tie wraps. And when I see tie wraps, I'm going to be happy, because you've got a racing car with duct tape and tie wraps. So, this is the latest problem for 555. Yeah, Greg.
Just a quick one. Johan Engelbrecht, of course, the man who was piloting the Aquila when it burst into flame in the pit lane, has just joined us on the live coverage as well. Big welcome to him, to Richard Daly, and to Scott Temple, another single-seater driver who's come and joined us here. So big welcome to you guys. Hope you've enjoyed all the coverage so far. Andy Gossman, another man from South African Racing, who comes in and be part and parcel of today. There you go. Gary van der Spey's here too, as he jumped in for a quick little, what do we call that? A photo bomb, video bomb. Back to you, Col.
Oh, we've got to, talking about video bombs, I think a Lamborghini is going to come and bomb our shot just now as well. Because while we were busy talking about the Janetta, lots of furious activity. Guys have got their helmets on. There's a Ferrari going down the straights there, so that's not the Lamborghini. Right, helmets are coming off, stand down. We shall be on alert. They are wetting their towels. They've got blankets. Part of the rule in the SA Endurance Series, brought to you by Mopar, is that during refueling, you have to have a wet blanket. And that blanket is there to mop up any fuel. Greg, they're going yellow. We've got about an hour's racing left. Back to you. It's green, 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 green.
We certainly do. Green
race.
flags once again here for an hour and 2 minutes to go, in fact, on the button. So coming into the closing stages here. And of course we will be shooting off pretty shortly to come and join you for part 4 and the final part of our action here from the Killarney International Raceway. We really do hope you've enjoyed all the action so far. John Craig and Chris Short have just joined us as well. Chris Short, a multiple champion, and of course an ex-Falcon, or it was an Engine Polo Cup champion, but he's now in the Falcon Polo Cup and took a victory at Desi's Raceway. John Craig, local man here from Cape Town, also great driver in a front-wheel drive car. Mom and Dad, of course, spent oodles of time with me last year at the Isle of Man TT. So great to have him on board here with us too. As I said, guys, hope you're enjoying all the coverage that we're bringing you here. It's a slightly different format of motorsport coverage, but certainly looks like it's growing feet and growing momentum in terms of support. The amount of guys that are starting to watch from a worldwide point of view is exactly what we want, and show everybody else how we're going to do this. Because the interaction on Facebook, the interaction on social media is all part and parcel of what we're doing here as part of this coverage of round 1 of the South African Endurance Series here at Killarney International Raceway, the Campos 600. Into turn 1, 240Z, backdraft Cobra, Nash Special, Ferrari 458, and Lamborghini. That's the array of cars we've got here. Really incredible to think about it. And in fact, every single one of them are now starting to become a threat at the front end of this field. Just having a quick squiz here. I think we might have a little bit of a change up to the way things are going on our timing monitor. I'm not quite sure what's gone wrong with the timing monitor here. I'm going to just try and pick up on where my mouse went to. There he is. And just do a refresh of this timing, because it's telling me that the Maui Motorhomes car of Craig Jarvis and Stuart White are now leading. That's highly unlikely, because they've been in this race for a while. Yeah, there we go, a little refresh, and we're back into the right way of doing things. Quick confirmation on the left-hand side of your screen there, you can see the current standings. 118 laps completed for Adcock and Jensen in the Aid Call 247 Ligier. Stradale Motorsport Lamborghini has done 114 laps, so 4 laps adrift there. A further 6 laps down on that, and we head into the bucket list racing Ferrari. Chris Budnick and Kish Tamba. We've got Autohaus Angel, and that is a Honda Civic Type R with Dane Angel and his team behind the wheel of that. Backdraft Cobra is back up into 5th place and just passing the Nash Sport. That was the pass we actually saw a couple of corners ago. Getting through on the one, now coming through to the other one, the 8 car. And the man that drives the 8 car and pilots or partners with the pilot in that car, we just had in studio with us now, Andrew Horn. Horn Dog, as he likes to be known, looking like he could potentially be in with a great chance of a Formula V victory here, or the Class V victory here. Bachelor Motorsport up into 7th place ahead of the Strocam Mining Ligier at 240Z. While Brian Evans and Charlie Arton is up to 9th. And then John and Byron Oliver making up the top 10. I'll get onto the screen. I can just scroll it down slightly to bring you into 11th place. We've got Caminas Racing Ligier. Wright Motorsport, the car we just see with a bit of an issue, has dropped to 12th place. But with the damage on that car, he might be losing oodles of time if he can't get it back in time. So let's see what Gerald Wright can do to fix his own car. The Mills Motorsport team are in 13th place. The Alpha, unfortunately, is out. And remember that Mike Verrier took the win ahead of Andrew Culbert and Sun Moodley in the hour race. So we've literally got up until 13 cars on track. 13 cars on track, and it's the Mills Motorsport Janetta G55 that is currently in that unlucky 13th place. Chris Shorter, thank you so much. We appreciate that, buddy. We are trying to get South African Motorsport to see what we're doing here, and hopefully Extreme Festival and everybody else, including Mark Dutoy, who joined us earlier on, is definitely watching what we're doing. I know we need a little bit more budget than what we're working on right now for this particular endurance series, but if we get the budget right, we can do this for every format of motorsport in this country, including motocross, including circuit racing, you name it. The world's your oyster when it comes to this kind of action. And of course, it also gives us a chance, as you can see, Chris Shorter, for us to literally chat to you, and you can chat to your friends, having a chat there, and a good luck about all things that happen there with, of course, none other than Scott Temple. Oh, Greg Gossman has joined us. Now, Greg Gossman and his crew are looking to do this kind of coverage. And hopefully now, watching what we're doing, Greg Gossman, you can convince your guys that this is the way to go. Because I think it is. There's no doubt about it. Victoria Angel, how you doing out there? Brian Evans and Jared Evans both racing. Thank you. I wasn't sure because on my team list I don't have the rest of those teams. So thanks for that one. I appreciate that, Vix. Giving us the other two drivers that are involved with Dane Angel in the Honda. So it's Brian and Jared Evans that are sharing the car there with, of course, Dane Angel. As you can see, the lights are ablaze here, and from the shots that we're seeing on camera, particularly that shot right now as they head down there with the brake lights and the rear lights on the cars, particularly with this camera as well, it does give us a slightly different view as to how conditions are here and what you're seeing on your screens. Our camera enhances the light dramatically. It is a lot darker than what you're seeing right now. And of course, as it gets darker and darker coming to the closing stages, as we're into the last hour and 56 minutes to go.
Right, we've got the car number one, Jensen. Michael Jensen is in the pits. They've had a bit of an issue with the splitter that has been touching the ground, and this has been an issue that developed in the first time we saw it was in East London. So let's have a look over here around the front of the car. This is more than just a splitter issue. Ah, there we go. On the back left tire, come and have a look. Back left tire was actually loose. The whole wheel was wobbling around. We've got to be ready to move. And that was one of the issues they had.
Cole,
there.
if you can.
When they can. Yeah, Greg.
Just try and stand as still as possible, because as soon as you start moving around now, the ambient noise is just destroying everything I can hear from you. So I can't really comment on what you're saying.
Okay, what
you
happened
have a
there,
lot
Greg?
of time still available to
That
them.
car's got a loose splitter. And we thought that they were coming in to attend to the loose splitter. But it turned out to be the back left wheel that was loose. And all they did was they tightened the wheel up and sent him out on his way. That's the car that's in the lead. It's in a lead for about 3 laps from the black Arangi's Lamborghini. Now, we know that the Lamborghini has to come in for one more stop. The reason for that is that there's a time limit that the driver can drive for.
Yeah.
And he has to come off track. They're going to do a splash and dash and then bolt again so that he stays within the rules. And I think that the maximum time limit that he can drive is about 80 minutes. And it's getting pretty close to reaching that. The guys, they actually, about 3 minutes ago, they said it was 4 minutes. I think that we're going to just try and pan
Cole,
over here.
just while you're talking,
yes, Greg.
keep this in mind. I know it's loud down there. I'm also battling because now, of course, as the temperatures have dropped, the noise gets louder, and that's exactly what happens at a race like this. So, Colin, just to give you an indication, the lead car has got 3 laps ahead of the Stradale Motorsport Lamborghini. The Lamborghini has got 6 laps that he can play with. So to have this pit stop now is not a bad plan.
Yeah. And, the other thing is you don't want to go over any limit and incur unnecessary penalties, because penalties breed more penalties. All right, here he is. I've just seen the car coming to the pit lane. Here he is. Right, let's just watch this. It's a splash and dash. On the far side, you'll see fuel go in. On this side, you'll see air come out. Well, technically you won't see the air come out, but you'll see the excess fuel. But I think this just will be a timed stop. This car smells hot. Hot brakes, hot driver. You can smell the drivetrain. That is not fuel that's coming down there, it's water. You see the smoke coming off the back left of the car. They're putting a bucket load of fuel in it. It's got to run about 55 minutes, so they're wanting somewhere in the region of 60 or 70 liters in it, because for sure, right, end of
Call.
stop, he'll start it and bolt. Love the sound of that car.
The Black Bull back on track, and a pretty smooth exchange there. In and out, quick splash and dash. It's not going to lose him too much time. In fact,
we got some more trouble here.
Cool car having to make that pit stop. It's actually given him a lap, and he's made up one lap on that car. So a good strategy coming out of Stradale Motorsport, and allowing the Rungies team to close in on Adcock and Jensen. So they've gone from 3 laps down to 2 laps down, and they've moved to 6 laps ahead of the Ferrari.
Greg, this drama is not yet over, because the number 1 team, here comes the car down the pit lane. We don't know what it is yet. It looks like they've got another back left tire. Let's just come around here, Ruan, and have a look. Let's see if it is the back left. Right, car goes up. Yeah, it definitely is. And you can actually see the splitter at the back. The diffuser is all damaged. Now, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
there's a bit of an issue there. The wheel is loose, but is there any damage to the hub? That's going to be one of the points. And do you see the back left light goes on and off? There's a lot of damage inside that rear mudguard. That's not a normal stop. Okay, so now they've tightened they've bolted it up. You can see how loose the diffuser is at the back here, guys. Now, that's the torque wrench. There's damage on that hub. And
exactly,
I think that
having to use that torque wrench to put the wheel on as opposed to the air gun is definitely an issue.
Greg, they banged it with the air gun, and they went as far as they could with the air gun, and he thought that he'd got enough. Right, he's got torque on it. That thing is, we're just going to watch. I don't want to judge anything at the moment. Once we can see what we can see. Right, starting up. So this is the diffuser that's causing the dragging of the car. Now, normally a race organizer will, back left taillight is out. So, interesting times for the race leader. You know what? It isn't over until it's over. And it's not over yet. There's about 50-something minutes left.
50
Times
minutes.
are tight. Greg, back to you, boy.
50 minutes, Cole. That's what we got. 50 minutes to go. And a little bit of damage on the back end of the lead car. As I said, having to come back in again, may have lost him another lap. I'm just waiting. There it goes. The Lamborghini goes across the line. He's starting to close in on the back end of the Ferrari for second and third place. Might put another lap into that Ferrari of Budnick and Patamba. But I can tell you it's not over yet, as you said, Cole. They made up a lap. They have made up what is 1 lap in the Chuck, Colin. So just for your information, 123 laps completed by the 8-Call-247 car and 122 laps completed by Stradale Motorsport in the Lamborghini. So that Lambo, with the amount of effort that they've been putting in and the consistent lap times that both of the Oranges boys have been putting in, they are slowly but surely becoming a massive threat to the front end of this race and could potentially spoil a race win here for the Ligier. Third place bucket list Ferrari just going across the line. Autohaus Angel up into 4th place overall and leading Class B. What a run here from the Evans boys and Dane Angel. Jared and Brian Evans doing a magic job in that little Type R Civic. Backdraft Racing in the Cobra up to 5th place now. So looks like we're going to see some fun and games between them. They're not done yet. The Nash Motorsport special of Andrew Horn and Howard Blake still currently in 6th place ahead of the Bachelor Motorsport GT5 entry. And that, of course, just being piloted around right now, trying to get it to the end. There you go, the car in shot as we speak. The big Cobra heading into Malmesbury and into the double right-hander down onto the back straight. Strocam Mining, Ligier, back up into 8th place now. Just getting past and overtaking the Cape I Laser 240Z Datsun. Just ahead of them, of course, is the Mega Pile car of the hard-charging second Nash car of Byron and John Oliver. The second Ligier is in 11th place, ahead of the Wright Motorsport Sports 2000, which I don't know if it's going to be making its way back out again. It hasn't completed another lap in a long, long time. In fact, the lap time there is diminishing properly. So So we'll have to wait and see if they get that car back out and running. It's losing laps as we speak. So is the G5 of Mills Motorsport. And that Janetta G5 taking some strain now in the closing stages. As you can see, lights on down in pit lane. Colin's got some action with the backdraft Cobra.
Yeah, I have Trevor Graham's getting into it. Brian Martin's just got out. Brian's recovering from an injury on his Achilles tendon, and the number 1 car's back in the pits. I got some news on the number 1, and I'm holding its wheel nut from the back left of the car. And the reason on this wheel nut is that this thread is actually damaged and stripped. So he's come back into the pits now. They expect that there's some damage on the spline and on the stub axle,
because they're about to lose the lead of the race.
And this is actually nail-biting stuff.
Race here.
Yeah. So they're having a look at the back left again. Tightened it again. Guys, you've also got to be pretty careful because this is a high-speed circuit and you do not want that wheel to come loose. They've been looking at the torque and they've tightened that thing. They put an extra 10 Newton meters into it. But in the light, the harsh light of day, you can see here these threads on the inside, they're not sharp, they're damaged, and that's what's causing the issue. I'm going to give this wheel nut back to the guys in the pits, and thank you very much for allowing us to show that. This is tight times because we know we got a problem on that car. The Lamborghini is running, they've fueled it to the end, driver's done, ready to go to the end, and now it's a case of they're on the same lap. The Lamborghini's about 30 seconds behind the number 1 aid call car. The bright lights in the distance that you can see that are shining onto us is the red backdraft that's coming out of the pits after they've done their fuel. It's fuel to the end, driver changed to the end, and it's now stroke it home and bring back a good top 5 odd finish. Greg?
Colin? Yeah, just to run back and look at how things are standing now. Both of the 2 cars, first and second, on the same lap. And we're looking at a difference of about 16 seconds as opposed to the 30 seconds you're talking about. Aid call 247 Ligier out front, 125 laps completed. 16.9 seconds back is the Stradale Motorsport Lamborghini GT3 Gallardo. And that is how it's coming with 45 minutes to go. An unbelievable turnaround here in the last 45 minutes. We're in for an epic battle here. One of survival for the 8-call 24/7 car of Adcock and Jensen, and one of attack for the Black Bull from Stradale Motorsport. That Padgett Gallardo is definitely going to have to push hard now, and I think Harry will probably be getting a lot of in-car communication there from Charles on the sideline, talking him through what he needs to do, telling him if there's any more issues that are going to be happening out there. Potentially, we could be seeing an issue that maybe the 8-call Ligier cannot sort out. They've come in 4 times in the space of about 10 laps. And it's going to be really, really close here at the end of this 45 minutes to go. Light is becoming a massive factor now. You can see, as I said, and I've been talking about it literally since the light started to fade, the cameras are enhancing our light. It's a lot darker than what you can see on the screens, there's no doubt about it. But we do have floodlights around the circuit as well to try and help out the drivers and, of course, our coverage here of this first round of the South African Endurance Series powered by Mopar. Backdraft Cobra goes flying past me on the main straight away. I'm waiting to see what the gap is going to be between that 8-call Ligier, which should be probably the next, or certainly one of the cars that's going to come. Gerald Wright has got that car sorted out. That is an amazing effort there from him. Here comes the Ligier. The Ligier onto the main straight going past. Big sparks coming to come off the back of that car with the diffuser being so loose. He laps on a 1:19 on his last time. And now I'll wait to see what the gap is. Stradale Motorsport going to come through there. They did a 1:16.9 the last lap. You can see, look at him, Jensen. Oh, that's how close it is. Look at that. That is the Lamborghini closing in on the back end of that Ligier. The Lamborghini can see his arch rival up the road, and it's only 2.9 seconds gap between first and second place with 43 minutes to go. The Lambo has got that Ligier in its sights. This is going to be an epic finish to this first round of the South African Endurance Championship. I cannot believe it's come out and turned around like this. look at that diffuser. It's definitely affecting the handling of the car. You can see sparks flying off the back of that car as he goes down the back straight. And as they come towards us now, it's lights ablaze. That's not the cars we're looking for. It's probably the third and fourth cars we're going to be watching out for. But that Ligier has now got big problems. And the Black Bull is right there, waiting to pounce. Into turn 5, fast drawn corner. And there's a fast turnaround of what's happening here. In terms of the lead of this race, there's a possibility that we're going to see a change-up pretty shortly because lap times are crucial. 19's coming out of the Ligier, 16's coming out, and here goes! Oh, Gerald Wright just getting in the way, but here we go into turn 1. Turn 1's where we need to be. Is there a change-up for the lead? No, not yet. A massive turnaround there, wow. If that Wright Motorsport Sports 2000 wasn't in the way, I think Arunjis might have been able to get through. Jensen now fighting for his life. Oh, I don't know if I can keep up 45 minutes or 42 minutes of this kind of action, but we've got 42 minutes still to go, and a possible lead change about to happen here. The Lambo is all over the back of that Ligier, and this is what can happen. This is the kind of drama, this is the chess game unfolding that we've spoken about all through the 4 hours of coverage. And with 42 minutes exactly to go, here we go, down the back straight. I wonder if Arunjis is just getting some in-car communication to say, listen, apply the pressure, but don't push too hard. We know that Ligier has got an issue. Let's see if we can get the pressure and just apply it there and see if he falters under that pressure. Coming out of fast drawn corner now. That is 1 and 2 in your sights. Here they come. The blue light on that crash bar is the Ligier. Sparking as they come through that shot with the Lambo right on his tail. The Lamborghini is quicker. He's going on the inside of turn 1. This is going to be the turnaround. The lead is going to change into KFM corner, and it does. The Lamborghini hits the front for the first time. Stradale Motorsport have taken the lead of this race with 41.5 minutes to go. There's no answer from Jensen. He's trying hard to stay with the pace of the Lambo, but the Lambo is the car to beat you. Let's see if we can keep it all together now. A change up for the lead as they came through there. That you see on your left-hand side of your screen is not right. You can see it on your screen. The Lamborghini from Stradale Motorsport is now leading this race, and he's pulled 10 car lengths over Jensen in this 8-call 247 Ligier. Bucket list racing Ferrari is still third, but he's nowhere in contention with what's happening at the front end here, coming up on the back end of one of the Nash Sports. That might be Howard Blake in the number 8 Nash Sport. As he comes down that back straightaway, he'll be eaten alive by the big black bull of Harry Arunjis. Arunjis and Jensen. Jensen going to try and stay with him just in case something happens and goes wrong. But it's highly unlikely at this stage because the car that's had real tough time of it has been that Ligier. He's not letting him go though. Last lap, a 15.6 out of the Ligier, 15.6 out of the Lamborghini. Lamborghini now hits the top of the board. And if we pull up the time monitor now on the left-hand side of the screen, you will see the change up for the lead. Stradale Motorsport, the Padgett Lamborghini Gallardo GT3 in front of the 8-call 247 Ligier. But you can see Jensen's not giving up. He is staying right there and not going to let that Lamborghini get away. Maybe just going to reverse the strategy there. Apply the pressure onto the back end of Arunjis. See whether he will falter under some of the pressure. It's a second or so. Yeah, it's about a second of a lap difference there between those two cars. As much as what Michael Jensen wants to do and wants to push that car to, he's only able to get 1 minute 16s out of that car right now. Whereas in the past, he was going a lot quicker. And now 15.1s coming out of the Lambo. But he's not giving up. Look at that, down into turn 5, fast drawn corner. He's all over the back of that Padgett Lamborghini. Very, very good possibility of a change up here as they come down into the main straight. Porsche Club straight. It's a Lamborghini and a Ligier going at it. Big sparks flying off the back of that car. Look at that. Unbelievable shot as they came across the Porsche Club straight. Down into pit lane though as we continue our action. Looks like Colin's picked up a bit of information down there.
Now, Rico, this is actually really tight. You had a couple of laps lead. You had the problem with the back left hub.
Yeah.
Have you fixed it for good, or is it a little bit dodgy?
What we've done is we've tightened it as tight as we can to 300 Newton meters. Now, normally that nut would be tightened to about 240. 300 is the max we can tighten before you'll turn it off.
Yeah.
So we've done the best we can. It'll either hold or it'll break.
And now he's just got to stroke it and try and make up some time.
That's all he's got to do is try and bring it home.
Because there's a bigger picture here. Of course, you want to win every race that you go to, but there's a bigger picture. You're the championship leading team, and you want to keep a championship going.
That's right. And also, if something does break loose, you know, there's the chance that somebody else can get injured as well. So you don't want that. Also, you don't want to trash the car. So rather call it a day, minimize your expense and your damage, and live to race another day.
Great pragmatic attitude. Of course, the damage on that car, or the part that's giving the trouble, is the back left. There are a lot of right-handers on this track. You got to be careful. It's about safety. Great attitude. Greg, thank you, and back to you.
Thanks, Cole. Yeah, it's definitely about the attitude, and the attitude right now is coming out of that Ligier because it's showing some big attitude and some big survival skills as it stays on the back end. Now, I've just been given information, I beg your pardon, it wasn't Harry Arangis who's in that car, it's actually Charles who's piloting that car to the end. So Charles Arangis at the wheel of the Pagid Stradale Motorsport Lamborghini Gallardo. Michael Jensen behind him in the 8 call 247 Ligier. And third place, Bucket List Racing Ferrari. Woodhouse Angel still stays there. In fourth place, Mark van Billensdorf, to give you information on the 8 car. The Nash Motorsport Special is still in 5th place. A top 5 finish so far, and Class V victory so far for the Nash Motorsport machine. Backdraft Racing is in 6th place in the Cobra. Bachelor Motorsport also in the Cobra there in 7th place, just ahead of the Strocam Mining Ligier, the Cape Eye Laser 240Z, and then it's the Megapile number 50 Nash Motorsport. Collins down in pit lane.
Right, I'm here with Harry. This is a seesaw up and down race. You were laps down, now you're in the lead.
Yes, Colin, can you believe this? In the lead. Unfortunately, Nick Adcock and them has got a bit of problems, but they're keeping up with us now. The splits is like 1 second. They're coming back, they're falling behind, they're coming back, so it's a race till the end.
Nervous there?
Oh, you telling me. You know, the car must stay intact, Shaw must be good. We're just praying that everything goes well till the end.
I've been around the racetrack for a while. I haven't seen you this nervous. That's not a smile because you're laughing. That's a smile because you are knaping.
I am knaping, that I can tell you.
Thank you, Harry. Get back to the race and check it out. So, it's a tight race. The Lamborghini's just ahead of the Ligier. The Ligier's damaged. It's injured, and there's a safety concern. We don't know what's going to happen with that thing. This is the great part about motor racing. What's going to happen? Who knows? Greg, can you take it back?
Yeah, it certainly is going to be good fun. I can tell you right now. Hi from Wellington. Yeah, a big welcome there for the guys from Wellington. Yes, unfortunately, we do also have to eat as part of the TV crew to keep up the energy that's required to do what we're doing right now. And potentially when it gets to this kind of action in the closing stages, that energy levels do sort of kind of waver. Yes, it might be just sitting here and you think we're sitting in a TV studio. We're actually sitting in the pit building above all the action in that pit lane. And conditions have worsened, well not worsened, but they've got more tricky with the light fading, with the air temperature cooling down, and a whole bunch of people that are sitting around going, yes, or what are we doing here? Well, this is what we're doing. We're bringing you the kind of coverage that I think South African motorsport is definitely in need of. And so far, from what we've seen on the comments that are flying back and forth here, thank you so much for all the action. We really appreciate it. And for all the comments that are coming on the world of social media. If you think that the rest of TV commentary doesn't have this, they certainly do. Colin, you down in pit lane. What you got for us, buddy?
Underneath you is the 555 Janetta. They've finally parked it. The guys are a little bit glum here, and Rowan will come in here with the light, and we can actually get a good look down in the front. This is the area that they were working in to get the power steering pipe sorted out. They finally decided to call it quits and not risk any further damage on it. But while we're here, one of the interesting things of it, you got the radiator in the front of the car here, and this is the water pipe. That thing there, that looks like a turbocharger, doesn't pump air. That is the electric water pump. So the car's injured. The guys aren't really happy at all. You can see these beautiful braided pipes. Great snap-on spanners. Apparently they're the best in the world. The steering shaft comes down here through knuckles and convoluted drive down into the steering rack over here, and all this red fluid that you can see here, all that fluid, that's the power steering fluid. That's a bit of a problem. I'm going to need some serious hand cleaner to get rid of all this stuff, and I'm not going to, in fact, hold on a minute, I tasted gearbox oil before, so it actually tastes better than gearbox oil. It's not as nice as a cheeseburger, and it's not as nice as my famous little friend. No.
Yeah, take you one for the team.
Bloody revolting. Back to you, Greg.
and they complain about me eating chips on TV. There's Colin drinking power steering fluid and licking gearbox oil. That's what we do here to bring you this kind of coverage. Hello, Mark Friedman's aunt, wherever you are. Hi, Mark Friedman's aunt. I had to say hello to Mark Friedman's aunt, apparently. So, hi, Mark Friedman's aunt. There we can see a change up in our cameras. We can see we're probably going to have to do a couple of, maybe do some filter changes on them. Because look at this. We're going into the grayscale option on our cameras right now to bring you the continued action here for the final couple of minutes of this race. We're into half an hour to go, ladies and gents. Half an hour to go. 32 minutes exactly to speak about. So 32 minutes of racing to come your way. First closing marks. Mark du Toit joining us once again. Hello, Mark du Toit from Swartkops. Hope you're enjoying all of this. Paul de Klerk has also come through. This is part 3. We were supposed to do 4 parts, but we had such incredible action with the Lamborghini taking the lead of the race a couple of laps ago. We couldn't go out to go to our part 4 of our production. So we're going to stay with it and run right to the end now with about, 31 minutes and 25 seconds to go. So I hope you guys are loving all the action that's coming your way, courtesy of Pro Visual Productions and ILEV. Yours truly, Greg Maloney, the voice of choice, bringing you all of the race commentary coverage. And down in pit lane, Colin Hasty and Ruan, our Mopar pit cam crew. So no changes just yet. Charles Laranji's just fending off the attack there from the sparking car, and that's big sparks going down that straight towards G Energy corner. That's turn 2 here. Jan Cronje, thanks so much. We're loving it as well. And I'm glad that you've come and joined us. But as we get into Rose Foundation sweep, that's the gap between first and second. The first car you see in your shot heading up the KFM straight is the Lamborghini. The sparking machine behind, throwing up sparks everywhere it goes now, is Michael Jensen in the A-Call 247 Ligier. Down the back straight, a couple other cars going through there. As you can see, it's very difficult for our cameras now to try and pick up on those cars. It's just a blur of lights. The only ones we particularly pick up on easily, of course, is because of those sparks coming off the back end of Jensen's car. So it makes it a bit easier for our director to pick up on those lead cars and take us through the action. As I said, the cameras do enhance the light ever so slightly. It's completely dark here at Killarney International Raceway. The floodlights are all on all around the circuit to bring us as much light as we can get. And a lovely shot there from Mona, our cameraman, as our leaders get amongst some of the back markers. Now this is kind of what can kill the race, because being saloon cars, sports cars, and very low slung sports cars at that, it makes it very difficult for the drivers in these light conditions to spot cars coming from behind. Being involved in a couple of endurance races myself on a few occasions, the low slung Ligiers and Sports 2000s and Nash Specials are very difficult to spot in these lights because their lights are so low down. And if you don't look in your rear mirrors and are not aware of what's happening around you and keeping an eye on the cars coming from the back, this could catch a couple of drivers out. Hopefully not our leaders, and hopefully not back markers causing some issues in the closing stages here. Colin's down in pit lane, and what have you got for us, Col?
Well, I've got reigning champion in the South African Endurance Series. You explained earlier, Nick Adcock, that it's a long game, but it's a game of chess at the moment. That gap is just under 3 seconds behind the Lamborghini.
Yeah, it's most unfortunate. We had 3 laps in the lead, and then we've had an issue with the left rear, so it wouldn't. We can't. Every time we tighten it, go out, it would loosen. So it's on now, but it's cost us the lead. So Charles in the car, I assume, because he knows how to drive that, and he's tough to overtake here. So,
but Michael's also a tough competitor, and Am I reading it correctly in that Michael's keeping the gap under 3 seconds until close to go, or is he pinning it?
No, there's just a difference in the car's performance. The
Colin, I can tell
Lamborghini
he's
in the
pinning
aero
it big
corners 3
time.
and 4, it hasn't got much pace. You really have to brake, and you're tootling on behind it. Coming down the straight, he could just go away. The only place you can take him is being very low on the brakes. But Charles just
Colin,
comes in enough.
Colin, let me jump in there quickly.
If, Michael's got the, he's going to have to take a big pill.
But he's also got the damage on the diffuser at the back.
Yeah, I don't think that's affecting the car. It's actually helping the car because it's actually pulling it further down. So he's actually getting more downforce.
Awesome stuff. Well, there's about 20-something minutes to go. Keep smiling. It's motor racing. You never know what will happen.
Well, anything can happen. There they go, look. Nose to tail.
It's a lovely, lovely game. Who would have thought 3.5 hours or 3 3/4 hours when we started in the heat of the sun, we now have the brightness of the LED lights in us. It's a great race. It's not over yet. Greg, what do you got
Just
for
to
us?
jump in there, buddy, I was trying to get your attention while you were with Nick. You're talking about the fact that Jensen is not holding back. He's not. Jensen is giving it as much as he can get it. He is pushing that car way beyond its limits and is all over the back of the Lamborghini. He's literally on the tailpipes of that Lamborghini. So it's not done. We've got 26.5 minutes to go, and Jensen is literally a Fender trailer on the back of that bull.
It's definitely not done, Greg. I'm bouncing between the pit where the team is and Nick is here, and Benoit on the wall, the engineer, and the notes that they're taking, and they're talking on the radio. And I reckon that Michael Jensen is trying to put as much pressure on Charles, hoping that Charles makes a mistake, trying to force an issue. 10 minutes from the end, I think he's going to attack really, really, really hard.
That's exactly what I'm expecting as well, Cole. I think that's exactly what's going to happen out on track. I think Jensen is just applying the pressure, waiting for a mistake from Charles Laranges. If he doesn't get the mistake, then he's going to go even harder on the attack with about 10 or so minutes to go. And that's kind of where we need to be watching. There you can see the two cars in the lead as they come through the shot, heading out of turn 1 KFM corner and up towards G Energy straight. Who would have thought that with 25 minutes to go, the cars would be split by half a second? The top two cars in this first round of the South African Endurance Series, the Campos600, are split by half a second. That is just mind-blowing. I didn't expect it. I don't think anybody expected this one. All the pundits were on different cars, going to the front end and being the leaders and possibly the winners of this race. Things have turned around dramatically here, and we're about to get some more drama with 25 minutes to go.
Yeah, that was the number 4 backdraft, just came in for a splash and dash. But that's a little bit perplexing because we watched their pit stop, and they've got this system where when the fuel tank is absolutely full, it's got a little green light that comes on. We watched those lights come on. We watched the fuel come out of the breather. So that thing was jam-packed full. And we know that they can do just over 2 hours on a tank. They came in before there was, there was less than 2 hours left to run. Don't know what the issue is. We're going to talk to the guys in the background and find out what it is. But Greg, how's that Python match, the squeezing and the applying of pressure going at the lead?
It's mental. It's absolutely mental, Cole. I can't tell you. I'm loving every aspect of this. And, from an endurance point of view, things can be drawn out on occasions, and sometimes they do. But every now and again, you get into a situation where you've got a race like this where it goes right down to the wire. And as you said, it's like a python squeezing the energy out of that bull. And the Ligier, look at it. It's literally a Fender trailer on the back of that Lamborghini. Charles Laranges is under threat. Charles Laranges is about to lose the lead as we come back to the action onto the back straightaway. Not these cars in the lights right now. The next couple of cars to come down the back straight could see the Ligier retake the lead. Yeah, they come down on the braking markers for turn 5, Fostron corner. And are they side by side? No, they still line astern. And the Ligier just behind the Lamborghini. Wait for it to come through as they come out of Fostron corner. There's the cars coming out there. Lamborghini versus Ligier, and coming across the line to complete another lap of action. It's going to take them into 143 laps completed, and still 23 minutes to go. What incredible drama about to unfold here. Jensen is now deciding, right, it's now or never time. Let's put the pressure on. Let's apply it even more than where we have been. Let's squeeze, and see if I can get some kind of a mistake out of Charles Laranges. Aranjis is going, come on, give me some more back markers. I need help. I need a little bit of pawns to play with here to ensure that this chess game goes the way of the Black Knight or the Black King, as opposed to the white one behind him. It's just absolutely incredible to see this kind of a race unfold with 20 or so minutes to go. A big welcome, of course, to Terry Wolford, who's just joined us as well, and also looking at the way things have gone here. Going back to a couple of the comments, Nathan Hammond joining us, one of our Falcon Polo Cup drivers. Thanks for coming on board. We got Nico out there as well. Paolo's back again. Also picking up on a few comments further back. Thanks, Brad Jew. Stian Kriel's back again. Nico Kellerman is there as well. So thanks so much, guys. We do appreciate all the action that's coming through there, and now getting a chance to show you the kind of action that's about to happen here for the last 20 or so minutes. 22 minutes and 35 seconds to go, and there is 0.3 of a second between first and second place on the road. This is mind-blowing. I didn't expect this. I don't think anybody that's watching expected this kind of action. But now coming into some more back markers, Aranjis is going to try and use those back markers to his advantage, and he's not a bad man to be at the front end of this car. But you can see there are 13 cars still on track, and I think every single one of the 11 cars that are watching this battle unfold know that when they see those lights, when they see that blue light, the LED on top of that Ligier, get out of the way. And that's exactly what they're doing. It is mental how close this race has become. I can see some boards being warned out there. Oh, we're under safety car. Safety car board is out. We've got a 60k an hour zone now. This might just help out Aranjis in a big way. The Ligier has to tap out of it. I'm not quite sure where the incident is. We're going to try and find it on our cameras somewhere on the circuit. We've got a car that's is causing an issue. And now back under virtual safety car, which means that everybody is back down to a 60k an hour limit. With 21 minutes and 25 seconds to go, our response team is back on track, and the Kalani Marshals are going to have to do some work here. This could play into our hands big time here. I don't know if Colin can hear me down in pit lane, but Cole, if you can, come back to me and have a chat with me quickly, because I can tell you, we've got...
Tell you what, we're standing in between
21 minutes to go, Cole. 21 minutes to go.
Yep.
And we're literally in a situation which could cause a lot of that 21 minutes to be eaten up by this virtual safety car scenario.
Well, I actually see a safety car board, an SC board. We're always at a 60. My eyes aren't that good anymore. I took one too many knock to the head. But I'm standing in between the Stradale Motorsport team and the Aid Call team over here. And these guys are pitted right next to each other. And there's a whole lot of nervousness. They smiles, but they kind of forced smiles. And we're going to, right behind us, we've got Harry. Where's Harry? Here's Harry. Let's see what he says. Harry, does this safety car situation help you guys or not?
It does, because there's a lot of pressure. And I think just to cool nerves and down, it always helps. And yeah, it's 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 50 minutes to the end.
Cole, they're coming past you now?
Full blast racing.
They're
coming past you as you
right
speak.
Behind us here. There's the race for the lead.
That's right. How close is that after 3.5 hours? I mean, that's uncalled, unheard of.
It's brilliant. But tell me about this Toyota Gazoo Racing shirt you're wearing.
You know, I was thinking maybe I should go do some off-road racing.
And of course, today is the first round of the South African Cross Country Series. Somebody, at whoever the calendar's powers that be, decided that it would be a great idea to have two national races on the same day. But we won't go there. I'm looking at the clock. The clock says 20. Greg, it's not 20. It's somewhere around about 15,
19
16.
minutes and 19 seconds to go.
No, 19.
Yeah, it's Vietnam time, but 19 minutes to go, and we're looking at Stradale Motorsport with a 0.8 of a second lead. But that, of course, is because they're under virtual safety car, so it's not really a lead. Let's just run through it quickly, Cole, if you wouldn't mind. Give me a chance to run through the top 10 while we're under virtual safety car, because there's not much happening down in pit lane. But do remember that when we get to 5 minutes to go, pit lane closes. No one can come in. We don't want to be in a situation like we were last year in Cape Town, where Angel was caught out and left in the pit lane and had to go and finish the race in the pit lane and actually lost the race lead and the win. So hopefully that's not going to be the case. We've got Stradale Motorsport and Aid Call 247 Ligier, literally split by 0.8 of a second. It's a further 8 laps down to the bucketless Ferrari. Autohouse Angel is in 4th place in the Type R Civic. Then we've got Backdraft Racing in 5. 6th place is the Nash Motorsport Special there of Andrew Horn and Howard Blake. They're doing an incredible job there, and Nash Motorsport are going to be very happy because they have not one but 2 cars in the top 10. Bachelor Motorsport is in 7th place behind the Nash Sport Special. Strocam Mining Ligier is up into 8th place ahead of the Cape Eye Laser team of Brian Evans and Charles Arton. We've got the Megapile Nash Sport up into 10th place. Wright Motorsport, after fixing that car, is back to 11th and have gone ahead of the 333 Caminas Ligier and the Mills Motorsport G55. We're back under racing though. Green lights and 17.5 minutes to go. This is going to be an epic finish to a race that has really unfolded with every kind of drama you can expect. We've had pit lane fires, we've had cars crashing on circuit, we've had incidents in the pit lane, we've had proper big action between purpose-built endurance sports cars, we've got purpose-built GT3 cars, we've got slightly smaller Nash Specials that are fighting hard. And as our 2 leaders head down into the G Energy corner one more time, Colin, what's happening down in pit lane?
We've got the number 8 car that's been recovered, and it appears that it has run out of fuel. So they're going to bank some. This is the famous refueler, Esteban Gutierrez, who's been the refueling there. One of the things you've got to do when you refuel is ground the car so that you don't end up with the car sparking. We've run out of a driver. Now that's a bit of an issue. Never before in the history of driving.
I can tell you,
we run out of drivers.
Colin, I can tell you why that driver's not there. Andrew Horn's busy watching our footage. I don't think he was expecting this to happen. So they've gone to call him quickly to get him sorted out and get him back in the car. It looks like he's going to jump in the car for the last 15 minutes or so, and Andrew Horn will bring this car to the finish line. They do have 3 laps in hand, so it's not a case of that they have to rush it so much. They can basically get to the finish line, get Andrew back in the car, and get everything sorted out. There's no need to rush, as long as they don't lose too many laps in the pit lane. The refuel has been done. They get the driver back in the car, and Horndog should be able to bring this number 8 Nash Special back into pit lane, having taken not only a victory in Class V, but potentially a top 10 finisher for the Nash Motorsport team. They have lost 2 positions. They've dropped down to 7th place, but that's not a major because they've got 2 laps still on hand on that Strocam mining machine. So Andrew Horndog gets into the car. Multiple champion in his own right in single seaters, as I said. Maynard came and spoke to us in the studio earlier on. They're going to strap him in and get him back out on track as soon as they can. But a good turnaround there, good recovery, and quick thinking from Nash Motorsport. Well done, guys.
They've bolted him in. Matt, that was a hell of an interesting. Where was your driver?
We weren't expecting to do a driver change.
He was watching us.
And we obviously screwed the fuel calculation up because it ran out of petrol.
Because normally you can run for days on a tank of fuel.
We've done a lot of extra mapping. Bob Cantwell has helped us to find a lot of horsepower. So obviously with the extra horsepower that he's found us now, it uses just a little bit more. We've probably screwed it up by 5 litres or something over the 4 hours.
But hey, that's motor racing. You live and you learn.
Well, fortunately we've got back out again, and yeah, it's not over till it's over. Thank God it didn't happen in the last 5 minutes when you can't get the car back out again. So.
And in terms of losing, you lost the class lead?
No.
You were that far ahead?
Yep. Maybe we've lost the position to the Cobra.
Yes, you have.
That's basically what we lost there. We had such
the voices in my head are telling me that you definitely did lose it.
Down to 7th.
Maybe
so you're down to 7th.
Okay. We'll have a look now and see. I don't know yet,
but it's a great success story for you in that you've built these cars. They're relatively simple. I was going to say some low technology cars, relatively affordable, and they're still running and leading your class. Good stuff.
Yeah, look, well, we're racing against ourselves at the moment because we're the only ones left in our class. But, yeah, it certainly got a hell of a lot better. We've had a hard last 2 years. Things are definitely better. Unfortunately, we crashed one today, but crashing is what it is. It was 170 k's an hour into the barrier at the bottom there. Driver walked away.
as a car designer, that's you've got to feel comfortable that your cars don't hurt your drivers.
I think it's probably the most important thing is that everybody's safe. The car hit the wall unbelievably hard. All the structure around the driver stayed together, and all the stuff that was meant to fall apart fell apart, which is exactly what you want. It's going to be relatively cheap to fix. All the brackets that were supposed to break broke, so it saved all the expensive important stuff, the chassis, all that kind of thing was saved. So I'm grateful for our day. We've had one DNF from a fuel leak, one big accident. Hopefully we got 2 guys.
Ask him what his plans are for bear hunting.
They'll make it to the end. And bad job on the fuel calculation by myself.
Apparently you have plans to go bear hunting.
Bear hunting?
Grizzly
Apparently.
bears.
Not really sure.
The voices are telling me bears. But hey, Matthew, thank you very much for talking to us. You're really a great competitor and you add to the racing. Thanks a lot. Right. I'm
Great
looking
job
at
there,
the
Carl.
clock, and it's about, I don't know, 13 odd minutes. The cool part about this is that I've also got to watch the entrance to the pit lane because I learned my lesson earlier. Guys, never ever turn your back on the pit lane. It's stupid and somebody may drive into you. So I'm looking at the 15 minutes left, but it's not 15 minutes. It's a little bit less than 15 minutes. And the lead dice is close as anything. Gregory?
According to me, 11 minutes and 55 seconds to go.
11:55. Now, our favorite position is in between the 2 pits. We've got first place car to our left, second place car to our right. They chasing. One of these teams is going to win, I think. And one of them is not going to win. I think. I don't know who it is, but that's the part about motor racing that is so great. You don't know what's going to happen. It's exciting stuff.
Not over
it's
yet. 100%
nearly
Carl.
4 hours. It's brilliant. This Campos600, great opening race of the championship.
Cole, take into account that we got 11 and a half minutes to go. Make that almost 11 minutes to the T as we come back to the race. It's happening out on track. You can see frantic activity still down in the pit lane with guys just wondering how the story is going to turn out. It's not. The next part of this chapter is still to be written in the next 10 minutes. We've got 0.673 of a second between the 2 lead cars. There they go out of turn 1. Great job from our director to pick up on the 2 lead cars as we talk about them. And the Ligier diving on the inside into turn 2. The pressure is being applied at every turn, every braking point, every acceleration point. The mist is starting to come in off the sea. So a little bit of weather factor could come into play here. Oh, the windscreen's going to mist up on that Lamborghini. It's an open cockpit for the Ligier. Is he going to start to feel the effects of the slightly cooler temperatures here now with 10 minutes to go? There's so many variables that can come into play right now. There's so many things that can go right, and there's so many things that can go wrong as well. And they can and usually do when it comes to motorsport. Whether or not it's going to happen with these first 2, we don't know. The bucketless Ferrari still in 3rd place. Autohaus Angel Honda still in 4th. Ahead of the backdraft Racing Cobra. What an array of cars for the first 5 cars on track. Absolutely brilliant stuff here as we're coming into the closing stages now with 9 minutes and 50 seconds to go. There go the 2 leaders across the line. Into turn 1 they go, and looking for a chance now to apply that pressure again. You can see down the back straight and the second half of the track. So literally out of Malmesbury into turn 5, Fostron corner, and the main Porsche Club straight. The Lamborghini has the edge. But from now on, turn 2, I beg your pardon, the G-Energy turn, this is where the Ligier comes into its own. And in these very misty conditions, oh man, the lights, the flare of the lights, the mist coming off the ocean here at Killarney International Raceway, and the story is just about to unfold a little bit more. As I said, I've said it a couple of times now, I'm absolutely blown away by how this race has turned out with only a couple of minutes to go. And whether or not we're going to see a Lamborghini or a Ligier take the win, or are we going to see a Ferrari be gifted a victory, we'll have to wait and see. It's not done yet. Big move into turn 5 once again from the Ligier, looking to come out ahead of that Lamborghini, but I think Arantxis is just placing his car perfectly. He knows exactly where to put that motor car so that Jensen doesn't have an option to get past on him. Can you just imagine being in that cockpit right now? What it must be like to have that amount of pressure being applied with less than 7 minutes to go, or coming up to the 8 minutes to go, actually. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Mornay with some great shots down at turn 3, picking up as they come up on the back end of the Backdraft Cobra. The Backdraft Cobra there sitting currently in 5th place. Hopefully not going to be in the way of these two faster cars coming through here. Or the leading cars. They're not really that much faster, but they are the leading cars. And with the lights ablaze, there's a dive on the inside. Lambo gets through. Ligier gets stuck behind. That's perfect timing there from Charles. He has put a Backdraft Cobra between himself and the Ligier, and the Ligier just squeezes him out on the KFM straight. This is that's mind-blowing. Just as you think it's all going to be sorted out, something comes into play like a back marker coming through. Philip Iguana coming in there as well to come and join us in the closing stages. Thanks so much. Sean Best, I hope you're enjoying yourself, buddy. It's really cool to have you here as well. And yeah, oh man, it's just going to be some fun and games. Yeah, you know about the internal joke there between myself and Matt Nash about hunting bears, but the hunting right now is bulls. It's bulls and bears, and we're going to be talking about bulls that are being hunted down here with the closing stages coming into play. 7 minutes to go. Potentially 3 laps, I would say. 3 laps more action to come your way here in the first round of the South African Endurance Championship. Proudly brought to you by Mopar, the Campos600. And what a way to start the season off and this championship. Jensen is just sitting and applying pressure, pressure, pressure. It's not being held back. There was 0.3 of a second between those two cars on the last pass across the line. There's less than 0.3 right now. Once again, the Ligier takes up that Fenta trailer roll on the back end of that Lamborghini. You don't normally put a tow bar on the back of a Lamborghini, but right now that's exactly what's happening. And Jensen is just right on that tow hitch as they go down the back straight away. It's not going to be 270 odd k's an hour now from these cars. Probably going to be about the 230, 240 mark as they just try and nurse these cars and keep the pressure applied on each other. You can see that they're still braking past the 50-meter board, so they're not holding back, that is for sure. Oh, man. I thought we were doing endurance racing here. This is like a sprint race. Endurance, yes, exactly. That's what I have to say, Mr. PT. This is endurance racing, but endurance racing at its finest, with this kind of action coming into the last 5.5 minutes. Pit lane is about to close, and Colin is down in pit lane.
Guys, I'm down here in the pit lane with Roger. You're going to close the pit lane, 5 minutes to go. That's about 30 seconds, Roger.
Correct. And the lead has just changed, I think, for the 7th time going into the last lap.
It's unbelievable. The other thing was the 555 car, the Janetta G55, the Jan Lammers car, has actually just gone out. In order to be classified as a finisher of the race, you must be running at the flag. They had to get out with 5 minutes to go, which will probably give them, I don't know, 2.5, 3 laps. But there we go. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of it. You can't signifies pit lane closed. We now have 5 minutes left in this race. And I spoke to the Angels. They were excited. They still got their Honda running. They're running the backdrafts are still running. There goes the Ligier, and there goes the Lamborghini. We said earlier that we were waiting for Michael Jensen to pin it when he's got a couple of laps left. It's exactly what he's done. This chess match, I think he's just
New leader, Colin. New leader, Colin.
I know that.
So to jump in, Colin, we got a new leader. Jensen has got through on the Lamborghini. He's found a way past. Jensen has got through. We got a car coming into pit lane. By the looks of things, he will not be able to get back out on track. There's a car in pit lane, and we have a new leader. And in fact, we got a spinner. Has the Lamborghini spun? The Lamborghini has spun at turn 2. Go back, go back. There it is. The Lamborghini has spun at turn 2. What a turnaround here. Charles is pushing too hard. He's made a mistake. And he's gone and spun out at turn 2 at G Energy Corner. That is going to be enough. That should be more than enough time now for Jensen. He's going to open up a margin after overtaking the Lamborghini. The pressure was on the Lambo, and he has faltered under that pressure. He soaked it up for nearly half an hour, and eventually he has been found wanting with less than 2 minutes or 3 minutes to go. Unbelievable action here. Can you handle this? I don't know what we're going to be doing in the next round, but this is where you want to be. Make sure you come and join us, because this is the kind of action that comes out of Endurance Championship Racing.
Greg, I just want to show you here. Here, this is the live feed. They saw the Lamborghini spin live. This is the Jensen, the 8-call pit. They're busy watching it live as things are going down. It's unbelievable.
Yep.
The way this race has the lead has changed bucket loads of times. We don't know what's happening. 2 laps from the end, the lead changes. We're going to bolt down to the end of the pit lane and try and catch the checkered flag.
That's a good idea. Leave it with me for the rest. We've got 2.5 minutes to go. Cole, you stand by for that checkered flag. Great to see that the teams are even watching our live coverage here. Yes, it is slightly delayed because of an internet issue. There's nothing we can do about that. But I can tell you right now, this action has been some of the best I've ever commentated on. And really, with literally 2.5 minutes to go right now, the 8-call car has retaken the lead. The Lamborghini, unfortunately, buckled under the pressure and has now fallen back to second place. So he's going to have to try and nurse that car home. It isn't damaged. It was just a spin out on his own. Maybe just pushing too hard and wanting to get back to the lead of the race. Now, with 2 minutes and 5 seconds to go, we're probably going to be looking at maybe 2 laps to go in this race as the Ligier comes through. Potentially 2 laps to go as that car passes you guys and down towards turn one more time. Michael Jensen did an incredible job to apply ongoing pressure for over half an hour, and it eventually paid off. He goes through and gets past the second of the Ligiers. No problem at all there. The little Autohaus Angel Honda is in there as well and is going to be finishing in the top 5 incredibly. I can't believe that kind of action coming out of the 2 Evans boys, as well as the action that has come out of young Dane Angel. That's how we're going to be doing things now into these closing stages. Absolutely brilliant stuff here with 2 minutes to go. In fact, 1 minute and 20 seconds. So I'm going to be saying this will probably be the penultimate lap that they're on as they head down that KFM straight into Malmesbury one more time, and possibly for the second last time of asking here at this coverage of the South African Endurance Series, powered by Mopar, the Campos600. Coming through now into the closing stages. Has he rolled off ever so slightly? Let's wait and see. Maybe he's going to try and nurse it to the line and not have to do that extra lap, but I don't think he's going to have enough time. He's going to have to do one more lap. He's going to have to go through there because there's still 49 seconds to go. He cannot roll out because then, of course, the Stradale Motorsport team will close in on him. He's only 8 seconds back, so it's another lap. One more to go. 1 lap to go here for the Stradale Motorsport team. 1 lap to go for 8-call 247. And it's not done because that Lambo's coming. Charles Arangis has just put in a 15.6 as opposed to the 18.3 from the 8-call Ligier. So there's a 3-second lap difference there between the Lamborghini, who is charging. Look at him. They're charging through on the second of the Ligiers there. He can see that 8-call car. It's easy to spot. It's dropping sparks all over the circuit. And how far back is the Lambo? There it is. Comes out of turn 2 as the Ligier turns into turn 3. Rose Foundation sweep. There's 3-second difference in these cars as they're coming to the line. Has Charles Arangis still got enough time to possibly close in and spoil the day there for the Ligier? As they come up onto the back straight now, they're into Malmesbury. Oh, late braking from Arangis, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. He might be just short here. It's going to be literally seconds between these cars to finish up this race and the first round of this championship. Coming down that back straight away, there goes the Ligier. Under braking for Fostron corner for the last time. The checkered flag is on standby. The Lamborghini is well within sight, but I don't think it's going to be enough. It's not as close as MotoGP, but it is certainly close for endurance racing. And it's the 8-call 247 car across the line and takes the checkered flag. What a race. What an absolutely amazing race there. Great way to start the championship. Stradale Motorsport come through for second place in the Lamborghini. The bucketless racing Ferrari of Kish Batamba and Chris Budnick are going to be taking third place ahead of Autohaus Angels Honda team. The Evans boys and Dane Angel for fourth. The Backdraft Cobra is going to come through for fifth place. Bachelor Motorsport come through for a sixth place finish ahead of Nash Motorsport and 2 Nash Motorsports in the top 10. Great job there from Matt Nash. Seventh place for Nash Motorsport, number 8, that is Andrew Horn and Howard Blake. Showcam Mining will come through for 8th place. A good recovery from them after all the issues that they had through the race. The 240Z of Brian Evans and Charlie Arton are going to be finishing up in the top 10 in 9th place overall in that Datsun. What a dazzle Datsun that is. The Mega Pile Matt Nash Special finishes in 10th place with Byron and John Oliver behind the wheel of that one. Wright Motorsport finishes in 11th place ahead of the 333 Caminas Ligier. And then Mills Motorsport in 13th place. Our 13 finishes all done. Down to Colin in the pit lane.
He did it. He overtook him. That's very difficult to overtake that Lamborghini. And he did it. There was a bit of contact, but it was a clean move from Michael's perspective. And yeah, he's pulled it off the win in the last 10 minutes. Brilliant. That's why I love endurance racing. I love it more when we win.
It was absolutely awesome. Right, they're coming into the pits. We're going to move right down to the end here and check these cars. I'm watching the back. Here they come. What a brilliant, brilliant race. Sometimes we talk, sometimes we watch, sometimes we just admire. This car is crippled. It is damaged, it is injured. There's a bucket load of work to do on it. And they're going to be happy. Here comes the Lamborghini. What a race. Seconds in it after 4 hours. Totally magnificent. And in third place, on the other side there, will be the Ferrari, the Patamba Ferrari. Let's see if we can quickly grab them. We've got Michael Jensen over there. Let's see if we can have a quick word with him. There's a rush through the crowd here. See what we get there. There's emotion like you can't believe. Look at those eyes. He's absolutely wired. Michael Jensen. Wow, unbelievable. Well done.
Thank you. We just get this off.
The Scandinavian way in 2 words. Thank you. You were like a python. You stalked him down, you squeezed the pressure onto him, and then you pounced.
We tried. It was a... I just need to catch my breath. It was a bit intense out there in the end. It's dark. It's yeah, it was a good race. I also give it to Charles. He really pushed hard. He was very good at blocking me the whole way. He blocked me all the right places, and well, I had a gap and I took it.
Lovely stuff. Celebrate with the team. We'll talk properly later. Intense, he said. He took the gap. He just did it. Charles fought back hard. We're going to go and let's have a quick chat with Charles. They're going to spray a whole bunch of champagne. Let's see where he is. Very, very quickly. We'll talk to him. Charles. How intense was that?
Yeah, it's intense and a bit crappy, almost cursed there. But in any case, yeah, to be taken out on the second last lap is not on.
Do that afterwards.
So yeah.
Well, there we go. The man has just said we'll do that afterwards. So, unbelievable scenes. It really, really was close. Greg, my boy.
How crazy was that race? That was mental. I'm sorry. I'm absolutely blown away by the fact that we got to cover one of the greatest races ever at the circuit. There's no doubt about it.
And Gary, you relax now. Earlier you were like intense and uptight and full of it. But it's a success. Something flew into your eye.
100% success. Thanks to you guys for the great commentary. Thanks to the guys putting on the show. Thanks to Campos. Thanks to Mopar, Alpha, all getting involved. And to all of you that watched us. Thank you very much.
We're going to try and get this moment where there's supposed to be a whole lot of champagne. Who would have thought? 4 hours, 3 or 4 seconds. Unbelievable.
No, I was blown away. I mean, I watched that last half an hour, and you were mentioning the fact that it was like a python squeezing him down and literally applying that pressure non-stop. It was non-stop pressure the entire time, and that's exactly what happens. You never know. I mean, it looked at one stage like the Lamborghini was clean and clear, getting away. Next thing, Jensen decided, let's just turn the wick up and go for it.
But it sounds like there was a bit of controversy.
I don't know about that. I think the pressure was applied in the right place at the right time, and when he got through quite clean and clear, because we actually got that on the footage. So you can actually see the pass. About 3 corners later, There's the celebrations as we'll talk about it in the end, but there you can see some celebrations as Budnick is getting involved. You can see Jensen's happy about the fact. We've got Nick Adcock getting in there as well. But I think taking into account that once that pass has been overtaken, Charles unfortunately just couldn't keep up with the pace and made a crucial mistake at a crucial time of this race.
Right, let's quickly go to Nick Budnick and Kishore Patamba. Kishore, Nick, great third place. You've got smiles on your face. Happiness is.
It's fantastic. Good job done by Kishore. He did 3 hours. It's unbelievable. And like a metronome. So all to him, I just had to finish.
But Kishore, there's some issue with the front left of the car. What happened there?
I think one of the cars decided that I was a marker. So he decided to turn into me.
And Ferrari ran well. It sounds absolutely magnificent. The development work that you put into it has finally paid off.
Absolutely. The car ran like clockwork, and I got to say thank you very much to Freddie.
They don't call him Fast Freddy for nothing.
Absolutely, yeah. Fantastic car, good driver pairing, so we're happy.
All-round happiness. Right, we want to go and look through the light here. Now that they've had a little bit of a chance to calm down a little bit. I know you've spoken to us, but you've calmed down a little bit. Look, Nick, that smile, it says it all. That was a hard race, seconds in it after 4 hours.
No, it's as good as it gets. We're just saying our lady has not been so kind to us this weekend. She was quite challenging with the loose wheel. So we needed a bit of work to find out what went wrong and fix it. But that gave Michael an uphill battle because also we lost the lead to the Lamborghini and it was nip and tuck. You put him under pressure. Bit of traffic overtook him. Great race, one of his best ever.
That went well.
In true Scandinavian terms, it went well.
Danish
and the car is back home in one piece, so everything is good.
And were you planning, were you sitting there waiting and then ready to pounce, or were you...
Yeah, I was waiting for a mistake or a gap. And I saw the gap, I took it. It was a bit tight, but...
but you made it fit.
I came out, the car is in one piece. It's racing.
Absolutely love it. Enjoy the celebrations. I think it was a magnificent race. Thanks for the entertainment, guys.
No, thanks for the coverage. You do very well, and thanks for everyone's support. Really appreciate it.
And happy you're still in one piece.
I had my own issue.
Yo,
it was
your
time.
own issues today, brother. Big
I'll
time.
tell you what.
Let me tell you something.
You know what?
Yeah.
When you're in a pit lane and you don't look where you're going, you deserve to get clapped.
And all I'm going to say to you is that you mentioned that about 500 times and still did it wrong.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter. We live and learn. And unfortunately, we both walk away with an incredible day's racing. But remember, this championship is not done. This is only round one of this championship. And the next round, we stay at the coast. We go down to Port Elizabeth, the friendly city, the windy city, on the 25th of May. And this is a place that you want to be because there is no doubt about that this championship is going to go even bigger and better by the time we get to the friendly city. So come and join myself, Greg Maloney, the voice of choice, my pit lane commentator here, and an incredible job done by Colin and by Jean. And run by an amazing
Ruan, what a great cameraman.
Yeah,
but before we go, we've got to talk to Arangi Senior and Arangi's Junior. I think he may have calmed down now. He was the...
I'll go get him. Stay right here. I'll get him. I'll bring him down.
So, 4 hours. Drama. A Janetta doesn't make it out of Joburg. Another Janetta doesn't make it out of the pit lane. And Aquila smacks me and then bursts into fire, into flames. Right, we found him. Where's Dad?
Oh, Super Snake.
He's at the back.
Right, he's got to come and join us. So, Harry Arangi's, Charles Arangi's, second overall, seconds in it. There were seconds, Harry, after 4 hours racing. That was magnificent.
Yeah, no, look, it was a brilliant race. Kudos to my team, obviously, for we had some ups and downs. I mean, within the first 15 minutes, I had a flat tire. So, to fix that and get us back on track. And then, just all the surfaces were perfect. And we got the car out. And, I mean, we were in it until 10 minutes to go when we were... I'm not going to say maliciously, but we were taken out. So it's a bit of a pill to swallow. But more than that, you know what?
He says it was a hard challenge.
Yeah, when a car is stationary on track and you have to avoid him, where do you go? You know, so it's one of those things. But in any case, whatever. I think we're just happy to be on the podium.
Yeah, absolutely. The car's damaged. I think I'm more upset about that than anything else. But cars can be fixed, and second place is actually quite good. We didn't expect this, but we were leading for a very long time. So well done, my boot. It was so good.
It's a long championship, and you leave here clearly in second place in the championship. My maths is still not that bad. And we go to some tracks that you both really enjoy. But as a father and son combination, that's got to be special.
Yeah, no, it's very special. I mean, that's what it's all about. We didn't come here to win, to be quite honest. I mean, we come to have fun on these events. It's a nice weekend away, not just for me and my dad, but for the whole team. You know, it's a team thing. So for the whole of Stradale, it was amazing to just be here. And you know, to actually be fighting for the win, that blew our mind.
That was so special. I mean, me being on that pit wall for an hour and a half. I mean, that is so special. Being on the radio and say, Charles, just keep it up, my boy. Just keep it on the black stuff. And he surely did. So he did so well for our team.
Congratulations, guys.
Just a quick shout out. You know, sponsors keep us here, and you know, big shout out to my dad, obviously, with a family business. But not just that. If you look at the 3 cars that finished here today, all 3 of them are on Paget race pads, and I think that says quite a lot about the brand that we, as Stradale Motorsport, bring into the country. And you know, for the whole of first, second, and third to be on Paget pads, that's quite a big thing. And
so it's a Paget podium.
It is a full-on Paget podium. So yeah. Shout out to Paget in Germany.
Right, we'll send the invoice for the blatant commercialism. But you know what? We love the fact that you are involved on the commercial side of it. Now, do us a favor. Go and give each other a hug and then get ready for a Mudova party.
Yes, for sure.
Good.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah,
So, big boy.
Yeah, no, listen, I got to tell you, as I said, right from the word go, I thought this was going to be interesting. The way it started. I mean, if you take into account that we had a car that was on pole position stuck in pit lane.
Hold on, no, not just on pole position, but the fastest car ever around this track.
No,
and it was stuck in the pits with this silly plug issue.
Bottom line is, that's what happens in endurance racing. They came back, they tried hard, they failed. They'll be back, there's no doubt about it. And with that kind of pace coming out of those 2 drivers, they're certainly going to be a force to be reckoned with in PE at the next round. But I think more importantly than anything to take away from today's action is, this is round 1. We've got a long way to go in this championship, and I think we're going to be in for an epic one, even better than what we've had in the past couple of seasons. If Adcock thinks he's going to have it his own way with Jensen as his teammate, he's sadly mistaken, because there are a lot of cars that are going to come hunting, and they are very hungry for victories.
Other people that impressed me was the Angel Honda.
Unbelievable.
Here was a battle. You've got a Honda run by kids up against the Alpha run by the champions. And it was backwards and forwards, and it was a great battle.
And a 4th place overall for them, man. You can't get better than that for this young team. It's an incredible effort. Jared Evans, Brian Evans, and Dane Angel partnering up there, getting behind that team, with Marcel sitting on the sideline thinking about whether he should put the Ferrari in or not. He didn't do that. It didn't need to be done. They've taken a victory in their class. They've come 4th overall. Brilliant stuff. Then take into account a little bit further down that field, we spoke about it ad nauseum with him on a few occasions, you got 2 Nash Motorsport specials in the top 10.
Yeah.
What a great job there from Nat Nash.
And that's a properly affordable car.
And you spoke about, you know, how difficult it is to get the fueling right, to get everything else right on the car. He failed ever so slightly because they've tuned that car to within an inch of its life. You had a driver like Andrew Horn who can really pedal in that car, go and finish up and nearly get back the position they lost while they were in the pit lane. So the permutations are amazing.
And then you've got the GD3 Janetta, the 555 car with Jan Lammers in it. That car's got, I mean, that's a race-winning car in its own right.
No doubt.
And they had issues.
Yeah.
That was the car that visited pit lane the most.
Yeah,
I tasted the gearbox oil of the Alpha. My mouth is revolting. I tasted power steering fluid. I need to taste something a bit better.
But I think it's time that we wrap things up here from the Killarney International Raceway, round 1 of the South African Endurance Series, powered by Mopar. We certainly hope you've enjoyed all the coverage. We know you have, because there's been, I think, nearly 7,500 people interacting with us on the videos today. It's going to grow more and more. We love the comments from you guys. We do appreciate the fact that you think this is the way to go in motorsport. We are very proud to be associated with our production team. They've done an incredible job. Hats off to Fritz, hats off to Henk, hats off to Gary, and to you and I. For the next round, we'll see you on the 25th of May down in Port Elizabeth.
Thanks to Ruan, my cameraman. Thanks to the team. Guys, thanks to you. You're awesome. Absolutely magnificent. Bridge Cam. Cheers, guys. Thanks.
Bye-bye now.
Out of here.